It's embarrassing, really, but it all started when I dropped my iPhone in the toilet. I was shaving in the restroom and had my phone playing music on the very edge of the sink. Apparently, it was the very edge, because one wrong move later and my iPhone plunged into the toilet. I know what people say about putting it in rice, but I somehow screwed that up, and I was totally out of an iPhone. I didn't have an upgrade, and none of my friends had an extra phone, so I decided to try my luck on Craigslist. Luckily, I found an incredibly cheap offer online. It was apparently part of an estate sale from some old dude who had passed away. I drove the 40 minutes out of town. I picked it up and pushed a wad of 20s into a sandy-haired vendor before taking my new bargain to the Verizon store to activate. The phone worked great. My phone before had actually been really old. It was a 5S I bought ages ago. This new one was in the original iPhone 6. Still old, but a big step for me. I re-added all my apps and things went by perfectly normal until I got this request on Snapchat. I remember thinking it was kind of weird, which is why I took a screenshot of the request and sent it to my best friend Clay. It had to be some kind of prank from one of my friends, so I added the account as a friend. Nothing happened at first. A long time went by, maybe weeks. I forgot about the bizarre friend request and went about my normal life. A little about me. I'm an avid Snapchat user. I love Snapchat. I love Instagram. I love Twitter. I'm okay with Facebook. Even social media is fun. And it helps distract me from my college classes at night and my lame-ass part-time job as a fitness club front desk worker. It was actually working an overnight shift at the gym when I first communicated with the weird account. GIX. I had totally forgotten about the weird account until I got the Snapchat message. It was weird, but at this point, I was still totally convinced it was one of my friends and decided to play along. I kept taking screenshots in order to text them around to my friends for laughs. I stayed awake in bed for hours, scrolling through my Facebook feed to see if I could figure out who had been recently awake and maybe been trying to fuck with me. I eventually gave up, tossed my phone on the bedside table, and called it a night. I woke up the next morning with 11 Snapchat notifications about messages from username. They were all a collection of arrow emojis, almost pressed at random. A message in the account, however, was totally unanswered. I woke up the next morning with 11 Snapchat notifications about messages from the guy. They were all in a collection of emoji arrows, almost pressed at random. I messaged the account, however, it went totally unanswered. I've kept getting periodic messages from the account, but I slowly stopped taking screenshots, or in general, caring at all. Someone was definitely getting off by screwing with me. But it wasn't even interesting. I had posted screenshots from the first few messages in my friends' group chat, but everyone denied having anything to do with it, of course. It wasn't until a few months later that the account got my attention again. I was staying up really late to write an history essay I had procrastinated on when I received another Snapchat. This time, however, I got a coherent word. Looking for another reason to procrastinate on my schoolwork, or just out of sheer curiosity, I started to reply again, and this is when things started to get weird. At this point, the account was getting really fucking annoying. I decided to block it and go back to focusing on my essay. I was writing this really long, term paper about Jen Jacobus wrote, and about how his early work suggested the mankind was happier before the advent of instruction and technology. It seemed only appropriate as I closed the door on my interactions with the fucking troll for good. I woke up super late after staying up and finishing my work, but freakily I found the Snapchat message waiting for me. I kept trying to block the account, but somehow the messages kept getting delivered. I mostly focused on ignoring the weird snaps as much as possible. Most of them returned to gibberish as they were entitled. They tended to arrive sportively. Through the pace seemed to get a little quicker over time. It was Friday night, however, and the account started sending me pictures. Unlike the unusual text, this message came via an actual Snapchat message, though the picture seemed to be just jet black. I was home alone that night. My two roommates regularly went camping in nearby Hudson Woods, and they would be gone until Sunday night. I didn't care for sleeping in giant-infested woods in sweaty tents, so I rarely tagged along. About 15 minutes later, I got another snap. I almost wanted to chuck my phone out the window, but within several seconds of this message came another one, and it freaked me the fuck out. Well, the photo was noticeably low quality, and I was able to recognize it instantly. It was the outside of my house. The cameras were zoomed in right in my window. I moved over to the window to try and see if I could spy anything out there. It was super dark, and I couldn't make anything out. Minutes went by with and no reply. I kept thinking I heard footsteps outside moving closer, but I couldn't see anything out the window. Then another message arrived. It was my silhouette in the window. Immediately after, suddenly I heard noises out the door. It sounded like someone was messing with the door, trying to push it open. I rushed away from the window and cracked my door to listen, and what happened downstairs. My stomach dropped as I heard the front door open. It didn't seem forced, as the person seemed somehow had a key or was particularly skilled at lockpicking. My townhouse was 3 stories, with a living room, kitchen downstairs, a bedroom and bathroom on the 2nd floor, and 2 bedrooms on the 3rd floor. I quickly grabbed my phone and ran to the 3rd floor, into one of my roommate's room, and shut the door. I heard shuffling downstairs. Suddenly I got another message. A terrifying cackle came from the downstairs kitchen, and footsteps began to approach the stairs. I pushed my roommate's dresser in front of the door and pushed the tool set out of the closet. I armed myself with a hammer in the set. I waited as the footsteps grew closer and closer. I tried to call 911, but I got a busy tone. I tried to call again, busy tone. What the fuck? I whispered under my breath. I opened the latest snap, and it was now a picture of our lower stairs. The footsteps were getting closer. I tried to call 911 again. Nothing. The intruder paused at the landing, and I hoped he would waste time searching my actual second my actual second floor room for me. But no, he was going up the second set of stairs. My sweaty hands gripped the hammer as I was forced to listen to him climbing every last step, extremely slowly. The climbing finally stopped, and I heard the floor creak right outside the door. I was so fucking done with these Snapchats. I held my finger onto the app and clicked the little X that appeared in the corner. I deleted it. I heard a scream from outside my door. It wasn't a gleeful scream or a rattling cry. It sounded of something in pain. Something pushed on my door, trying to break it in. Whatever was out there, it had a communication with the sixth piece of glass and plastic in my hand. Suddenly, I knew what I had to do. Suddenly, it was obvious. I placed my phone on the ground. I swung the hammer right onto it. The screen shattered, and I heard another shriek. I landed blow upon blow on the phone from the hammer, and the cries of the pain grew louder. I pounded the Craigslist phone until it was in tiny pieces, and everything went quiet. After a few minutes, I plucked up the courage to open the door. There was nothing to be seen. I went to the neighbors and called the police. They searched the house and did not find a trace of anyone. There were numerous stab marks in inanimate objects around the house, and a few punctured holes in the wall. There were no signs of a break-in on the door, and the only physical evidence left in the kitchen was the kitchen knife on the floor outside the room I was hiding in. I showed the police sergeant at the scene of the screenshots I took. They were on my iPad thanks to my cloud, but he's acted super skeptical. He didn't say it, but he seemed to think it was a hoax. Are you sure none of your roommates or friends are here? He asked while fishing food out of his oversized beard. As far as I know, the investigation is still open, but I'm not holding my breath. But if you ever get a random friend request on Snapchat, for the love of God, don't accept it.